intelligence, it becomes something that's a form of domination, it becomes exploitative. Whereas when the social intelligence is disconnected from analytical intelligence, it becomes something that lacks the power to have rooting, to have the ability to change something in this world that we live in this civilization. Now, the society that we live in is like purely based off of the rationalization, off of the system of thought of analytical intelligence. And originally, the idea of economy used to be something that was deeply connected to the values of womanhood. Of the Greek word for economy is oikonomios, which comes from the word household management, which in ancient Greece was still connected to the older organic society where people were living in the forest. But it was Rome that took the idea of economy and disconnected it from the subjective, qualitative values of nature and made it purely about quantity, about growth, because Rome wanted to accumulate resources to build large standing armies, to build a huge military apparatus that they could use to colonize Europe, to invade places, to be able to accumulate more resources, more slaves, to grow the civilization. When we think about economy today, economy is purely something that is numerical. It purely looks at the world in terms of growth, in terms of accumulation. It doesn't look at the world in terms of that subjective, creative element about the quality of life. You know, something that's outside of metrics, of mathematics. We need to think about economics in that holistic sense, like restoring the humanity back to economics. One of the most powerful agents of this economic system is the ideological constructions, that is the financial system. It has the central banks, which the central banks is literally an institution that prints money. And this money is a form of enslavement because everybody in the society is using or dependent on this form of currency, which central bank prints more currency, devalues the currency that common people have as a tax, money that is taken from people used to support this gigantic military apparatus that is used to colonize the rest of the world to maintain this stable structure of power. But this pyramid scheme, which is a parasite on the humanity, which is taking all of the wealth that is created by the society, by common people. All of the great scientists, they weren't driven by money. They didn't expect any reward. They did it because they believed in science passionately. In fact, like a lot of the great inventors, they were never rewarded for their work. The system of financial appropriation is something that take these things and exploit them to generate wealth. It take the value in these products and use them as money-making schemes. I can imagine the entire global system as one interconnected web of power and domination. And that's why in Europe, states like Greece have failed, and Spain to some extent, because this system of power has had to reappropriate resources from even its core subset of people. And that's something that's even happening within our own countries, within America, within England. There is an underclass in the society that's being financially exploited by a system of appropriation to support ever increasing amounts of conquest and subjugation. Because now the rest of the world, geopolitically, is starting to realize that this system of liberal ideology, of American hegemony, is not beneficial for them. It's something that is actually expropriating, enslaving them, and they're breaking free from that. For instance, America, the amount of goods they export is less than what they import. So where does all the wealth flow to America? But for what reason? Because there is a dollar system backed by the oil wealth, which there is a group of guys in America, powerful group of guys, even above the state, even more powerful than the politicians, that control the supply of money. So when they want more money, they can print the money. That's what they can appropriate money from all of the people in the world that have dollars. And so Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is the only financial tool that we have to be able to construct our own economic system outside of that structure of power. But it's not enough just to think of Bitcoin as a tool for individuals that we all just randomly use. We need to start thinking more strategically about how we're targeting these technologies. Like, what are the struggles geopolitically? What are the regions or blocks of power where these tools that we develop can be useful for being able to grow new economic paradigm that we've envisioned, start to think about how would we want the economy to be in our future utopia. And it's not just about developing technology or tools, but it's also about how we apply the tools in the real world. Like, where are the places that we can apply it? Like, what are the social situations?
And can you tell us your inspiration behind your involvement in Syria?
Yeah, so in North Syria now, there is a region called Rojava, which is 5 million people, and it's an anarchist revolution. It's the most important revolution of this century. So what's happening now in North Syria, in Rojava, is something extremely important, not just for the Middle East, but for all of the humanity, because there's a lot of things that people could learn from that movement. And it's really important that people start studying the ideas of Abdullah Öcalan, which is the leader of the PKK, because the ideas that he's put forward give us a way out of this civilizational crisis and give us the way forwards. You have 2 books called Manifesto for a Democratic Civilization. You can find them on Amazon, in which talk about all of these ideas.
Why did you go there?
It is my duty as somebody who call themselves anarchists to go and support the anarchist revolution. Otherwise I'd be hypocrite.
Did you feel you fulfilled that mission?
Yeah, what I saw there in 1 year, I could not have seen 10 years elsewhere. Something that affected a huge, deep transformation in me on a really fundamental level. It's something that I can never escape from. It's something that pulled me towards